My beloved child, come close, closer still, for today I am not speaking to you merely with words, but with my own heart turned toward you. This is not an ordinary moment. This is the moment in which I affirm your soul before the courts of heaven, like a father placing his hand upon his child and declaring, "You are the one I have chosen." You were not chosen because you were strong. You were chosen even when you were weak. You were not chosen because you were flawless. You were chosen right in the places where you believed yourself broken. You were not chosen because you never fell. You were chosen because every time you fell, you still turned your eyes toward me. Many walk through seasons of pain and lose themselves in the process, but you did not. You were wounded, yet you did not turn bitter. You were left behind, yet you did not lose your light. You were misunderstood, yet your heart still held space for goodness. That alone is enough for me to speak with tenderness and full authority. You belong to me, and I have never been mistaken in choosing you. You thought your pain slowed you down, but in truth it refined you like gold under fire. There were tears you believed were signs of weakness, yet I counted every one of them as consecrating oil marking one set apart. There were wounds you thought you had to hide so no one would see, yet I used those very wounds to open a sacred tenderness in you, something the world can never imitate. I have seen you fight in silence, with no applause, no witness, no support. I have seen the nights you prayed without words, with only the fragile rise and fall of your breath. I have seen the mornings you stood up even when your heart begged you to lie still. And I speak clearly, I am proud of you, not proud of achievements, but proud of your heart, the heart that refused to let pain turn into darkness, but allowed pain to deepen into wisdom. Your loneliness was never abandonment, it was preservation. There were people who could have entered your life, but I blocked them not to deprive you, but to protect your soul from distortions created by wrong connections. You blamed me for doors that closed too quickly, relationships that faded too suddenly, closeness that dissolved before it could grow roots. But I closed those doors because I knew that if they stayed open even a little longer, your heart would have carried wounds deeper than you could bear. I allowed you to walk through seasons with only me, not to make you isolated, but to teach you to recognize my voice among 1,000 other voices. You never noticed it was in loneliness that I gave you spiritual ears others do not have. It was in loneliness that you heard me most clearly. It was in loneliness that you were shielded from dangers you could not yet see, but I saw far ahead. Today I want to say this plainly so your soul can breathe. The calling over your life has never been lost. There were days you thought you had strayed. There were months you assumed destiny had shifted. There were years you believed I had chosen someone else. But no, never. The calling I placed on you is not like human promises that shift when emotions change. The calling I placed on you is an eternal imprint etched into your spirit before you ever had a name. You may grow tired, but it does not fade. You may pause for a season, but it does not diminish. You may forget in a moment of weakness, but I do not forget. I simply wait until you are strengthened enough to hear me again. And now I declare with the certainty of heaven, you are not replaced. Your place is reserved. You are called to reveal light, not the light of perfection, but the light of one lifted by the Father from the darkest places. You are called to reveal love, not the vague love of emotion, but the love born from a heart that has truly been healed. You are called to reveal my glory not through loud words, but through a life transformed from the inside out. You do not need to try to become special. You have been special from the moment I breathed life into you. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone. Your worth rests in the hands of the one who will never put you down. You do not need to fear being not fiery enough. I, myself, am the fire within you. As long as you desire to be near me, that fire will never go out. I know you often ask in your heart, why me? I will answer you. because I see in you something few manage to keep, a gentle yet enduring loyalty. I see you endure without turning bitter. I see you wounded yet refusing revenge. I see you lose much yet guard your integrity. These are the qualities that make you fit to carry my light into a world starving for it. The world does not need the perfect. The world needs the ones who were once broken and healed by the Father. The ones who understand darkness enough to lead others out. The ones who understand loneliness enough to embrace others rightly. The ones who know pain yet still choose love. You are one of those. And now I want you to know this as surely as you know your own heartbeat. You are the one I have chosen. Not chosen to be burdened, but chosen to reveal me. Not chosen to merely endure, but chosen to stand firm. Not chosen to strive, but chosen to shine. I do not only love you, I affirm you. I do not only see you, I place my seal upon you. You are not only forgiven, you are commissioned. I will lift you step by step, not so that you rise above others, but so that my light rises above the darkness. And when you step into what I will speak next, you will finally understand you were not chosen suddenly, you were chosen eternally. My child, I want you to picture your soul as a garden that has endured many seasons of harsh sun and unending rain. Some patches of soil have cracked from drought. Some have become soft from being stepped on. And some corners look as though nothing could ever grow there again. But when I walk into that garden, I do not come with an axe. I come with the hands of a gardener who knows precisely where to trim gently and where to uproot. You often assume the dry places are signs that I abandoned you. But in truth, they are the very places I preserved, so you would not be overwhelmed by too much at once. You panic when you see the uneven soil within. Yet I see potential in every patch of earth. I have scattered seeds of perseverance into the corner you thought was wasted. I have scattered seeds of light into the corner you once called dark. And I am waiting for the right season to water them with the gentle rain that only a true father knows when to release. You may not see it yet, but the garden of your soul is stepping into a season of new sprouting. There are things I long to say plainly, but I speak them with a father's gentleness. You are like a young tree that grew up in strong winds, whose roots had to thread themselves through stone crevices just to survive. You didn't do wrong. You were simply trying to live. There were times you felt hardened, stiff, or closed. But I do not blame you for that. You did not know that the struggle of surviving in stone made your roots stronger than those who lived all their lives in soft soil. But now, I am lifting you out from the cracks of the old rock. It stings a little. You think pain means loss, but it does not. Pain is the sign that I am placing you onto wider ground. You are no longer the small tree forced to grow in the shadow of stone. You are the tree I am relocating into a place with enough light for you to grow into the true shape I designed. You were never limited. You were only placed in a narrow space for a season so I could protect you from the winds of the last chapter. And I know there are moments when you feel like someone swimming in waters too deep to stand in, yet too shallow to swim freely. That in-between feeling confuses you. But listen to me, I will not let you drown. I am teaching you how to breathe. I am not teaching you complicated strokes. I am teaching you how to keep your head above water when fear rises. I am teaching you that strength does not always look like thrashing. Sometimes it looks like releasing and letting me hold you. When the water rises to your neck, it is not a sign that you will sink. It is a sign that I am teaching you the difference between water lifting and water consuming. You think you are standing alone in the current, but my hand is right behind you, lifting you with every breath. Sometimes I see your soul like an instrument, forgotten in a corner for far too long. Its strings loosened, its body dusted over, its sound out of tune. Not because you failed, but because you thought this life no longer had room for your sound. Yet I do not abandon any instrument I once touched. When I lift you from that corner, you may hear the small click of old parts shifting. but I hear it as preparation. I wipe away each layer of dust, tighten each string, fine-tune each note. Some strings will screech as they are tightened again, but the screech is not a sign of breaking. It is the sign of returning to your true pitch. You were created to resonate in my hands. There is no string I cannot tune. There is no melody I cannot revive. I know you have asked yourself many times, why does my life hold so many fires? Hear me with your whole heart. Gold does not know it is gold until it passes through flame. A gem does not know its worth until it is refined. You often think I am hurting you, but I am removing the things that hide your true radiance. When you walk through pain, I do not watch from afar. I stand close, like a jeweler leaning in over his treasured stone. I know exactly which pressure will bring out brilliance, and exactly which I do not allow because it would fracture you. Not a single fire in your life is random. Not a single season you have passed through is meaningless. I stood beside you in every small crack, and each of those cracks, when placed in my hands, becomes a line of light. Hear this clearly: you are not lost, you are being led. When you think you are walking in darkness, you are actually walking in my shadow. And that shadow is not darkness, it is covering. Like a mother bird spreading her wings, like a warrior lifting his shield, like a father pressing his child to his chest in a night of harsh wind. You think you have lost direction, but I am simply guiding you through a stretch of road that, if I lit too brightly too soon, you would run ahead of your own strength. I need you to walk by the rhythm of my breath, slow, steady, ordered. You are not late. You are not circling. You are not offbeat. You are being led more tenderly and more deeply than you understand. You believe your calling is too large for your strength, but the calling is not placed on your shoulders. It is placed on mine. You only need to follow. You do not carry the mission. You carry my presence. Everything else I handle. I have prepared the territory for you. I have prepared the people you will meet. I have prepared the opportunities you will walk into. I have prepared the ground you will stand on. You do not need to create your calling. You only need to live inside it. When you remain in my presence, your calling will unfold in you like a seed swelling in water. It rises on its own, shapes on its own, emerges on its own. You do not need to strain. You do not need to force. You only need to stay near me. And I want you to feel this, like warmth filling your chest. You do not need to rush. You do not need to fear. You do not need to run. You only need to give me a small space to reset your breath, reset your heartbeat, and reset your vision. You will find yourself slowly softening, brightening, stabilizing, not because of effort, but because I am aligning you from deep within. And when I align you deeply, you will know this: you are not only called, you are kept. Not only chosen, you are loved. Not only sent, you are carried. You belong to me in a way no storm can steal. And as I lead you into what comes next, you will understand your calling is not a weight on your shoulders, but a living flame in your chest. Now, I want you to rise in your soul as one who has just heard a clear call resounding from heaven. You are no longer in a position of waiting. You are stepping into a position entrusted and appointed. You are not merely someone who survived the trial. You are someone who carries oil after the fire. You are not merely someone who was healed. You are someone who is sent. And you are not merely someone who is loved. You are someone who is authorized. Let this truth sink deeply into you. The time has come for me to place a mantle upon your shoulders. Not a mantle of title, but a mantle of spiritual influence. Not a mantle shaped by human praise, but a mantle marked by heaven's nod. And you do not need to prove it. I am the one who proves. You only need to receive. Let me make this clear. You were not chosen only to stand in the light. You were chosen to carry the light into places the light has not yet touched. You will walk into spaces where others see chaos. But you will enter as one who carries peace. You will meet those who are desperate, and you will speak with a voice that once fell and was lifted by me, and they will know immediately that you speak from a true place. You will see shattered souls, and by your very presence, they will take a deep breath they have not been able to take in a long time. This is your part of the mantle to carry my imprint into ordinary places so that the lost will know there is a guide. You do not need to shout, you only need to stand. The light you carry will shine on its own. You have walked through enough darkness to understand that darkness is not something to fear. Darkness is the backdrop against which light is seen more clearly. And because you have understood this, I assign you the role of a keeper of flame. Not a flame that destroys, a flame that shows the way. You will recognize when I need you to speak, when I need you to remain silent, when I need you to intercede, and when I need you to stand still. You will sense the stirrings of my spirit like warm currents flowing through your chest. You will know when to step, when to retreat, when to wait for my wind. Others need reasons. You only need the signals I place in your own heart. I have set within you a sacred compass, and from this moment onward, it will be sharper than ever before. And here is what I say with the utmost solemnity you were not born to stand behind. You will step forward not because you want to, but because I call. You will lead not because you are strong, but because I am strong within you. You will open the way not because you are skilled, but because I have gone before you, and you are only following my footsteps. You will become the one others seek when they no longer know how to pray. You will become the voice that calms torn souls. You will become the hands that pull those who are slipping. You do not break people, you heal them. You do not steal anyone's flame, you add to it. You do not make others feel small, you help them remember they are loved. This is your true mantle. Do you know why I place this mantle on you now and not earlier? Because you have learned what few ever learn, to rest in me. You are no longer rushed as before. You no longer let outer pressures dictate your inner rhythm. You are no longer pulled from my presence by the noise around you. And only the one who knows how to rest knows how to step. Only the one who knows how to be still in the Father knows how to move in the fire. Only the one who knows how to be silent in the Father knows how to speak at the right moment. I need warriors. But warriors are not only those who fight, warriors are those who hear. You have learned how to hear, and because you hear, I entrust. Now, I want you to look at your hands. These hands that once trembled from pain, that once clenched from exhaustion, that once felt empty from loss. These very hands I will use to lift others. I will pour oil into your hands so that every time you touch someone, even just a gentle touch, they will feel something warm flow into their hearts. You do not need to speak much. A gentle touch is enough. A gentle smile is enough. A gentle I understand is enough. But within those gentle things, heaven will move, for your hands carry my mark. You are being sent to pull others back toward the light you yourself found in me. And my child, I do not only give you a mantle, I give you the authority to stand. There will be places where you once walked in feeling small, but now you will enter with a peace so steady that others will pause to look. There will be conversations you once feared, but now you will speak with a voice, firm yet gentle. There will be positions you once thought too large, but now you will see they were always the right size, not because you changed outwardly, but because I have built within you a new foundation, a foundation of one who knows they are affirmed by the Father, a foundation of one who does not fear losing their place, because your place is held in my hands. Therefore now, I place my hand upon your shoulder and speak with the voice of the one who has loved you since before time began. Step forward, not trembling, not afraid, not doubting. You do not step alone. You step under the affirmation of your Father. You are not entering a strange place. You are entering the realm I prepared for you long before you knew how to call me Father. You will walk as one who carries my light, my love, and my glory. You will stand as one who belongs. You will live as one who is called. And every step you take will push the darkness back, not because you are strong, but because I am in you. And you will know, not with intellect, but with the trembling of your soul, that this is the hour you are being lifted into your true calling. There are things I want to say slowly to you, so each word sinks into you like water soaking into dry ground after a long drought. For I know you have walked such a long journey that sometimes you do not believe you can feel anymore. You have been strong for so long that when I say, "Let me hold you," you do not know where to set your strength down. But my child, you are not becoming weak when you let go. You are becoming real. I have seen every time you swallowed your tears so no one would worry about you. I have seen the moments you said it's okay just to keep peace, even when your heart was collapsing inside. I have seen the nights you lay on your side, unable to cry but feeling your heart ache with every beat. I have seen all of it, and I want you to know not one ache in you falls outside my embrace. As I open this part of your heart, I do not come to tell you to get up again. I come so you may lean into me fully. Perhaps for the first time, there are moments when you think I chose the wrong person. Father, why would you choose me? I'm nothing special. But you do not understand the ones I choose are not the loud ones, not the flawless ones, not the easily noticed ones. The ones I choose are often those who have walked through long silence. The ones I choose are those who know what pain feels like but refuse to turn it into bitterness. The ones I choose are those who have been forgotten, overlooked, dismissed, and those very things make you safe for me to entrust with authority. You are not chosen because you have never been broken. You are chosen because when you broke, you did not let sorrow become poison. You accepted hurt without seeking revenge. You endured dry seasons without becoming harsh. You walked through darkness without extinguishing the light within you. That is what I need in the one I choose. I want you to remember the seasons of your life that felt meaningless. The jobs you hated because they didn't match your passion. The relationships you gave your heart to but led nowhere. The months you prayed and saw nothing move. You thought I was silent, but I was weaving your life with threads only I could see from above. You saw empty days. I saw the foundation of resilience. You saw months where no one understood you. I saw the shaping of depth. You saw years of delay. I saw the preparation that would allow you to step into your calling without being consumed by pride. You do not see the full tapestry, so you called it waste. But I have seen it from beginning to end, so I call it preparation. There were times I watched you try to run from your calling, not because you didn't want it, but because you were afraid of repeating past disappointments. You wondered, if I step forward again, will I be hurt again? I understand. I do not blame you. Anyone who has been wounded while advancing will hesitate when hearing a new call. But my child, this time is different. This time you do not step with wounds, you step with the healing I placed in you. This time you do not walk with a tired heart, you walk with a renewed one. This time you do not go to prove yourself, you go to reveal what I have already shaped within you. The calling I placed on you does not demand perfection, it demands truth. And you have become more true, more real, more surrendered to me through every weary year. This is why I am calling you back, because you are ready not by your standard, but by mine. I know you have lived through seasons when you asked yourself, who will stand with me if I fall? And every time that question echoed, you shrank your heart a little smaller so no one could get too close. You became careful because you were wounded by those you trusted most. But you did not know that during the entire time you pulled inward. I widened my arms around you to guard the most tender part of your soul. You have not lost your ability to love. You are simply waiting for the environment where love will not be drained. You have not lost your ability to trust. You are simply searching for a place where trust will not be exploited. You have not lost your kindness. You simply tucked it away so it would not fall into unsafe hands. You are more intact than you realize. What you thought was broken is only sleeping, waiting for me to call it awake at the right moment. I want you to picture yourself as an old oil lamp. Over the years, the oil in your vessel seemed to run dry because you have been pouring light into so many who sat in darkness. You gave your light, your kindness, your strength, even the last drops of your flame, and thought, maybe I have nothing left, but I am the one who sees the bottom of the vessel, not the surface. You think the vessel is empty, but I see the thin layer of oil still clinging to the sides, and that thin layer is precisely why I am holding you so close. Because with one breath of my warmth, that little bit of oil will ignite again. You are not extinguished, you are simply low. You are not out of fire, you simply need to be refilled. And I am refilling you now, not with thunder, but with the gentle stream only my spirit can release into the deepest places of your being. Throughout your life, there were moments when you thought you were walking the wrong path, yet I saw them as the very turns that redirected you. You drifted too far to the left because you trusted someone too deeply. I nudged you back to the right through an event that seemed meaningless. You stayed too long in a place that was never meant for you. I used a rejection to push you forward. You waited for a door to open, but I closed it so you would not step into a space that would drain your soul. You called it failure. I called it rescue. You called it a missed opportunity. I called it preservation. You called it a dead end. I called it protection. You do not understand it all, but I have never once missed the mark in any touch I placed upon your life. There were nights when you lay on your back staring at the ceiling and whispered to me in silence, "Father, do I still have value?" No one else heard, but I heard. I heard every time you wondered if you could still be used, still be loved, still be chosen. I was not silent because I abandoned you. I was silent because I was restoring the layers of your sense of worth before entrusting you with a new role. Do you know this? Not everyone is soft enough for me to adjust. But you are. Not everyone is deep enough for me to place a commission upon. But you are. Not everyone is resilient enough for me to place fire within. But you are. You never lost your value. It was only pain that blurred your sight. Today I wipe away that blur, layer by layer, with my presence. And I want you to understand this with the very breath in your chest. You were not chosen by accident. You were chosen because you carry something the world cannot manufacture: authenticity, endurance, gentleness, steadiness, kindness that has not aged even though life has scraped you raw, perseverance that still shines even when no one applauds. These qualities cannot be produced by praise. They are produced by fire. And because they were produced by fire, they do not fade. When I look at you, I do not look at your flaws. I look at your capacity to bear light. Not everyone can do that without turning it into a performance. But you can, because the light in you is not the spotlight of a stage. It is the flame of the Father. So today, I want you to step out of the last fragments of self-doubt still clinging to your heart. You do not need to try to become the one I choose. You already are. You do not need to prove your calling. The calling lives in your soul like a second heartbeat. You do not need to fear being insufficient. I am the sufficiency within you. From here on, as you move forward, you will begin to see every word I once whispered to you rise like dawn. Places you thought were dead will sprout. Things you thought were lost will return in new form. Regions you thought were dry will receive rain. Not because you are strong, but because I am placing commission, breath, and light upon you once more. You are not only healed, You are entrusted with a portion of heaven's work, and I will walk with you until every layer of your calling unfolds in full. Let this final word fall into your heart like a thin mist, covering the early morning quiet. Gentle, yet so deep that you feel my warmth within your very chest. You have heard much, remembered much, awakened parts of yourself you thought had gone dormant. And I want you to carry only one truth after everything: you truly are the one I choose. Not by fleeting emotion, not by seasons, but by the eternal decree I wrote over you before any breath began. You do not leave this moment as someone who merely listened to a message. You leave as someone whose Father has placed his hand upon your head and affirmed you before the heavens. You do not move forward by your own strength. You move by the light I have rekindled in you. And you will notice, starting today, a subtle yet unmistakable shift in the way your heart beats, the way your soul feels, the way you perceive everything around you. Not because you tried, but because I have touched you. Thank you for listening to this message. Know that you are not just a viewer, you are the one chosen to live in the presence of God's Word every single day. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you will not miss any divine message meant for you.